Come back to the next video. In this video I will show you how to use or create widgets using Jetpack Glance in an Android application which is using the XML layout or the empty views layout. I have already done it for an Android application which uses Jetpack Compose, but if we are using Jetpack Glance we have to write Jetpack Compose code for our widget, so be mindful of that. So yeah, let's get started on how to do this. So firstly, I have created a basic application using XML layout. I haven't added any code as such, but yeah, this is what you get once you create a native Android application using empty views activity. The next thing which we have to do now, I have already created one sample project. Before recording this video, I will be copying some code from this sample project because there are a lot of steps. But I will explain it to you as much as I can, don't worry about it. So firstly, what we'll have to do is we'll have to add these two dependencies to our build.gradle file. So just go to your Gradle scripts, open this build.gradle.kts. you will see this file. You have to update the compile SDK version to at least 35 and then scroll down, and here we have to add these two dependencies which I have copied. So I have added these two dependencies. It is telling me to use version catalog, but yeah, I think it's fine. If you want, you can use it. Now given that we are adding some Jetpack Compose dependency, we have to add a bit of configuration inside this particular Android block as well. So for that, what we have to do is we have to add this bit of code. So I'll just copy this code and I'll paste it over here. So this build features compose options, make sure this is at least 1.5.15 if you are using 1.1.1 of Glance dependency. If you are using some higher version, whatever is the latest version, make sure you use that. And this packaging I have added. Okay, then the other thing which we have to do is sorry, what was the other thing? Okay, we can just do sync now for now, so it will download all the Jetpack Glance dependencies for us. The next thing which we have to do is we have to go to Android manifest and copy this bit of code. So I'll just copy it. So just go to app manifest. Oh sorry, one more thing, go to libs.versions.toml, and here you can see it is using 1.9.0 by default. When I create a project, I will just update to 1.9.25, the Kotlin version, and I'll click on sync now again. Let it do its thing. Then you just have to go to Android manifest.xml, and here you will I have just copy pasted this code. As you can see, now there are two things missing, so you just have to add this receiver after your activity but inside the application tag. So it requires an app widget receiver as well as an XML my app widget info, which I will talk about later on. Also, if you see, okay, anyways, so firstly we'll create this my app widget receiver. It will be a Kotlin file, so I'll just copy this. You have to go to Kotlin plus Java, open this, just right click, new Kotlin class file, and just name it as my app widget receiver. Okay, now again I'll just open this and I'll just copy this and I'll explain it to you. So here we are not doing much. Basically we are just extending from Glance app widget receiver, and it requires an Kotlin file which implements Jetpack Compose. So we'll have to create another Kotlin file called my widget which will implement the Jetpack Compose code on how our widget should look like. So I'll just again right click, new Kotlin file, I'll just name it as my widget. Now again I'll just copy everything from my code and then I'll explain it to you. So here you can see, firstly these are all the imports. Now be extremely careful, that make sure all the dependencies which you are adding for Android X, apart from these three, are imported from Glance. So here you can see I'm importing it from Glance. It's very easy for you to import it from Compose. Later on I will show you what I'm exactly talking about. I don't think we will face that particular issue because we haven't configured Jetpack Compose main dependency, but anyways we'll see. So firstly you can copy paste all these imports which I have. Now there are different ways of showing error UI. In case ignore this error for now, I'll again explain it later on. This is how I'm setting the size. I want an exact size. Okay, then here we have to override this particular method because we are extending from Glance app widget. So we'll override this particular method. Here I am getting the size of our widget because it's very easy for the user to resize our widget, and depending on the widget width you might want to customize your UI. So that's how width or height, that's why I'm getting this size. And here the UI is pretty simple. I have just taken a box, and here you can see I'm not using a modifier. Typically in Jetpack Compose we use modifier. We have to use our glance modifier for everything. And here I'm just setting background color as well as padding. Then this is my text element. Here I'm just typing hello widgets, and I'm passing whatever is the width, and here I'm just styling that particular text. And again for modifier I'm using glance modifier. This particular thing is not really working for me. I don't know why. What I was trying to do is, once I click on the widget, the text of the widget, it should open my activity, but unfortunately it's not working for me. But yeah, we'll see. Then here we are overriding this on composition error as well. For now we don't require this. I'll just comment this out. I'll explain it to you later on. Yeah, that's it for this particular thing. So all we have done is that these are all the imports which I have, and here we are overriding this particular method because we extend this. And here this is our glance theme. Here I'm getting the size. This size is also not necessary for you. Here I have just hard coded some Jetpack Compose code, so box, which is kind of like a container, and here I'm just displaying a text element. That's it. Okay. All right, so the next thing, if you go to Android manifest, we have to create this my app widget info. Now this is little tedious because we have to create 3 separate folders. So if I go to my sample project, this is not my real project. If you see, we have to create these 2 files, xml-v28 and xml-v31, because some of the attributes which we will be using in v31 are not available in API 28. That's why we have to create actually 3 files and one for XML as well. So yeah, that's why we have to create 3 files. So firstly I'll create the folder. If you want, you can create the folder from Android Studio, but I always mess it up. For some reason it is not visible for me when I create a folder from Android Studio. That's why I'm not creating it. I'm just creating it from the file explorer. That's the most easiest way which I can do it. So what I will do is, I'll go to my Android project, app, src, main, res, and here I will just create one folder. Right click, new folder. You can create it via Android Studio if you feel like. And here I will create one more folder. It will be of 31. Okay, now firstly again I'll just open this res xml. Okay, here you can see the folder is not showing up. Just go to project, app, src, main, res, and now it is showing up. Okay, so firstly inside this XML folder we have to create this my app widget info. So I'll just right click, new XML resource file. I'll just give it a name as my app widget info. Same thing I will do it inside XML v28 as well. Right click, new XML resource file, same file name, my app widget info, which you can see over here. Again right click, new XML resource name, my app widget info. Here we just have to define some configuration on how our file should look like. So first I'll go to the main XML folder, my app widget info, and I'll click on this code drop down. Now again I'll just go over here and copy some code. I'll just go to XML app widget info. So here basically we are defining some configuration, nothing much. Okay, so here you can see we are first defining the resize mode. We are extending creating this app widget provider. Okay, and here how after how much time you want to update your widget. Our widget has some static code, code or text, so we won't really help. This won't be really helpful for us. Minimum height, minimum width, then minimum resize height, minimum resize width, and this is the default layout which Glance provides us. If you want, you can customize this as well by creating your own layout file, but I don't want to get into that. Okay, so this is done. Now I will go to this my app widget info of XML v28. Just click on code. Again I'll just go to this XML v28, and I'll just copy this and I'll paste it over here. Again the same thing, see exactly the same code, update, minimum height, minimum resize. Here we are adding this widget features as well. I don't really know what this does. But yeah, just given that in the documentation they have added it, I have added it. I'm not really sure, maybe some configuration thing. Then we will go to v31, and it has some extra parameters as well. That's why we are created. So we just go to v31. Here I'll create the XML file. Just go to the code, and here I'll just paste it over here. Here is our min height, min width, resize height, resize width. Here is our widget features. Then here we also have this max resize height. That's why we are created this v31, which is accessible only from v31. Max resize width, target cell width, target cell height, and this is our initial layout. Okay, so this is done. I think that should be it. One more thing which I want to create right now is regarding the error. So if I just open this particular file, my widget, there are two ways of defining an error: using this on composition error, or you can directly pass this particular error layout. So currently I'm not really using this error layout. I'll just go to the Android drop down again, but I'll create this particular file. Then I think let's see whether we will able to create an error or not later on. So I'll just create, right click, new layout, new layout resource file. I find this little annoying that and the error layout should be created via XML. Rest everything is Jetpack Compose. So I don't know what they were thinking. Anyways, so I will just use a simple linear layout. If you want, you can use constraint layout. And here I'm just displaying a text view, and inside that you can just display some text saying error, displaying widget, whatever you want. I'm just displaying taking a text view, but you can take an image also to display it however you feel like. Then I'll just quickly run this application. Hopefully that should not take much time. Anyways, by the time this application is building, one thing again which I want to point out is you should be careful is go to your widget. Again, make sure your imports, these should be from Glance. Apart from these three imports, most of this import should be from Glance. If they are not from Glance, then you will see your error widget, but currently we haven't defined any error layout, right? That's why later on we'll see if we are able to display the error widget, so that I can just show it to you how to display the error widget as well. In the meantime, given that the app is building, currently what I have to do is there are two ways of adding a widget. The user can long press on our app icon, and then he will see a menu to add our widget, but that is not easily understandable to the user. What if I just add a button inside my application telling the user, okay, you can just click on this button and you can add a widget to our application. So for that, what I'll do is I'll just go to main activity. I'll just close everything. This is little annoying. Close other tabs, and if I go to activity underscore main, here you can see by default they provide us a text view. I can just use a text view as well. I don't have to create a button, and with the help of the text view, once the user clicks on this text view, we will create a widget. You don't have to use a text view, use whatever you feel like. So I'll just add an ID to this text view so that I can call this from our code. So this is our text view, right? So I will just go to our main activity, and here I'll just write find view by ID. This is a text view. If you want, you can create a separate variable as well, but yeah, I'm just ignoring that. r.id.text view, okay, dot set on click listener, on click listener, okay. And I will just again go to this, and I'll just copy some code. Now this is only possible from Android O and above, unfortunately. So yeah, we have to add this checks, and I'll just add few imports as well, which I will show you shortly. So this will basically create our widget from our app. Okay, I'll just do this, and I'll add this as well. Okay, so this is the entire piece of code which we should use to create our widget. And if you want to see the imports, these are all the imports. Okay, I'll just rerun my application again. I will just remove everything else so that I can mirror my device. Now I'm mirroring my device, so the output might be little bit laggy, so be patient. Okay, okay, so first I won't click on this text view. I'll just go to my home screen, and here you can see this is my app, right? So I'll just long press on this app icon, and here you can see it shows a widgets. So I'll just click on widgets. I don't know how to customize this. I don't know why it is showing 4x5. I think this is kind of like a basic template. If you know how to customize this, do let me know in the comments, but if I know, I will make a separate video about this. And I'll just click on this add. I'll click on add again, and here you can see it has displayed our widget. First it displayed a spinning indicator, right? So here you can see it just displayed a widget called hello widgets. For that spinning indicator, if you remember, the initial layout was this glance default layout. From that the initial indicator comes from. Now what I'll do, I'll just remove this widget. I'll just delete it. Okay, so the widget has been deleted. Again, I'll just go back to my application, and I'll just open my application, and I will click on hello world, and again it shows the same thing to add our widget to our home screen. I'll just click on add, and here you can see it displays a toast message, and here you can see here our widget has been added. Okay, now again I'll just remove this widget because I want to show you the error screen. I'm not sure if I will be able to replicate the error part as well or not. So what I'll do is I'll just go to my widget, and here instead of using this glance modifier, I will use this modifier. Modifier we typically use when, I don't know if we are we can able to import. Oh no, I know it is not showing the compose imports because I haven't added Jetpack compose. I'm just using Jetpack Glance. I'm not sure if I would be able to replicate this. What if I just add a wrong import purposefully? Okay, then I'll just remove this. Let's see what happens. No, it is throwing error. Okay, at compile time itself. But hopefully you got the point. I'll just remove this, and I'll add this back again. But suppose in case if there is any error in your widget, suppose if you are fetching something from a network API call, then how to display an error UI? So for that there are two ways. You can directly use something like this, and here if you remember, we had already created this custom error layout, right? So this will display your error widget in case if you have any error inside your widget. So this will display this error layout, sorry. Okay, this is one of the way if you just want to display like simple text message. But if you want to customize your message at runtime, so suppose I have this text view, I don't want to display this error displaying widget. I want to show actual error which I get from my server or some place anywhere else I'm getting that error from, and I want to display that actual error to the user instead of displaying some static. So what you can do, you can just comment this out, and you can uncomment this particular line of code. Okay, so first here again we are passing the same layout file, and then here you have to pass the ID of your text view. So here you can see this is the ID of my text view, and here whatever text you want to write, you can write it, and we just use something like this. So yeah, that's how you can show your errors UI as well if you want to. Sorry, I'm not able to replicate error. In case if you want to see it, you can see my Jetpack compose video where I purposefully used a wrong import. And if you use a wrong import, so I was using the Jetpack compose modifier instead of this glance modifier, and then it was showing me the error screen. But hopefully you got the point. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching. Bye.